there's also proper rest. Go back to verse 7. Go and sit down to meat. That's the end of verse 7. So he's not going to sit down yet because he still has responsibilities to the master in the house. But once he's done with that, now he is going to sit down. Now he is going to take a break. Now he is going to nourish himself and he's going to rest. He needs that because if he doesn't get the rest, he can't go in the field tomorrow and he can't minister to the Lord in the house. So he needs the rest. Elijah got rest, and sometimes God has to intervene and give us rest. COVID's been a time of rest for many of you where things have slowed down and you've been able to rest a little bit more and spend more time with family. That's not always a bad thing. We tried, in our family, we're trying to build in more margin. There's just so much that we can do, but we've got to have some margin in our lives. And here, this man is going to rest. He's probably going to sleep well that night. You know, there's a difference between being tired and having a good tired. You ever said that before? Yeah, I'm tired, but it's a good tired. Why? Because you minister in the field. Or maybe you are ministering to God in His house. After a missions conference or after a Bible conference or revival, you're just kind of worn down because you've been in church every night, but it's a good tired. And here, this servant, he has a good tired because he's done what God told him to do. If we just stay up late watching movies or binging on something, that's not a good tired. But if we're tired because we serve the Lord, that's a great thing. So he's going to get some rest. Jackson was learning about some of the individuals that helped shape our nation, some of the religious leaders. He studied about the Great Awakening that happened, and that had a tremendous impact on the foundation of our nation. And one of the individuals that he learned about was David Brainerd. And Brainerd, interestingly enough, died at 29 as well. But he got really sick, and he was a missionary to the Indians. And I think people tried to slow him down, but he just kept going. He was so driven by his calling. And it's not my job to criticize anybody. He was used so mightily. But you think about some of these people that just kept going and going. Maybe if they'd slowed down a little bit, maybe God would have extended the ministry a little bit longer than it was. We all need rest. Now, God doesn't want us to be lazy. There's a balance. And sometimes we just get lazy. But God does want us to rest. And He wants us to recuperate. We took a couple of days off this past weekend. It was good just to rest a little bit, to be away from home and away from work and just kind of take a little break. We needed that so that we can come back with energy for the Lord. I'm in this thing for the long haul. I know my family is too. We're not just kind of here and there and gone. We want to be faithful till Jesus returns. But that is contingent on these duties. So our duties are first to God and then to ourselves. And I know there's duties to others. We don't see that necessarily in this text. I'm not going to touch on that. But let me just finish by reading verse 9 and 10. Notice he says, "Doth he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not." That just means I think not. "So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do." So think about it here. Are you doing your duty? If you are doing your duty, if you are seeking to reach the lost, you're praying for the unsaved, and you're trying to witness as God gives you opportunities and invite people to God's house, you're burdened for the lost. You have the field ministry. If you're a part of the church and you're involved and you're serving in some aspect, and I know it's a little bit different right now, some of the ministries are kind of on hold, but you're serving, you're being used, and you say, "Your pastor, I think I'm doing my duty," or at least I'm taking steps toward that. I'm going to be doing my duty here soon as I join the church. But I want you to consider, even if you are doing all those things, it doesn't make us anything special for God. It just means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It doesn't mean that I should get recognized and get a plaque or a trophy, or somebody throws a special party for me and recognizes how much I'm doing for God. No, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Because as Aaron said, it's about the cross. The cross shows us Jesus did everything for us. What I do for Him, it's so small, so little. I'm just an unprofitable servant. I'm just doing what my duty is to do. Let's bow our heads in prayer.